Welcome back, everybody. Episode 2.
New logo.
Stressless, Live More podcast. I'm Zita Berta and I'm here with Dr. Terry McIver. Welcome, everybody. So today our topic is brain food, and we are going to explore how brain food plays an essential role in enhancing cognitive function.
So that's more of your remit.
Okay, so I'm probably just gonna jump in right away. Okay, so basically brain food, I suggest, is foods that are rich in nutrients and support the healthy brain functions, and also play a crucial role in enhancing cognitive functions and cognitive abilities. And basically food has been viewed back in the past as just a source of energy for the body and also building materials. But its ability to prevent and protect against disease and has begun to be recognized. So there's a lot of research has been conducted and that found that the impact, the various impacts of dietary factors on specific molecular systems and mechanisms that maintain cognitive function. And particularly foods that are rich in omega-3 fatty acids, they are gaining recognition for its ability to support cognitive processes in humans, whereas high saturated fats diets are basically infamous because they reduce molecular substrates that support cognitive processing, and they also increase the likelihood of neurological dysfunction.
So you don't have enough fats in your diet, then you will have brain problems, you will have neurological dysfunction, you will have neurons that are not, the myelination of the neurons needs to be kept up to the right level. So therefore demyelination can lead to neurological disorders, yeah?
Yeah, absolutely. And also fats play an important role in our diets. They support our hormones, the healthy hormone levels, releases.
They have testosterone, fat-based structures as well. So all of those structures and all of the hormones are basically produced, which we'll get into more into other podcasts.
Yeah, absolutely. Also, if you look at our brain age, that we know that from research that our brain peaks around age 22. It lasts for 5 years, around 5 years, and then it starts to decline. And we also know that there's definitely a food-brain aging connection, and then there are certain types of foods that boost brain health and slow brain aging. Now, when it comes to feeding behavior, we have neural circuits that work in perfect sync with brain centers that control energy balance and cognitive functions. So foods can affect how we think, how we feel, even before we consume them.
Exactly, because they can evoke emotions within us, and if you have ever smelled the smell of something cooking which brought you back to your childhood, or as we say in NLP, anchoring back to childhood, or if you ever smelled, if I go out to the cut grass, reminds me when I was back at 8 or 9 when I was in the farm back in Ireland, and we went every summer, and the smell of the cut grass, and if I go to the beach, I can remember when I was 7 or 8 when we used to go family to the beach in Donegal. So yeah, there's a lot of natural anchors that food evoke as well.
Yeah, absolutely. All the smells, because our brain's emotional state changes when we remember foods or different smells through olfactory and
you can have auditory, and you can have visual anchors as well of an auditory. If it's a sad song or a happy song, it brings you back to some time in your life where you were happy or sad, it just brings you straight back. And you shouldn't really be listening to sad songs because your body doesn't really realize that you're only listening to a song and you're not going through you go through the process of sadness, which you don't really want to do too often.
Yeah.
Keep as positive as possible.
Absolutely. Or it's like when you're passing by a bakery and then you smell, that particular bakery smell, that there's those lovely pastries and stuff, and sometimes maybe you remember your granny's, apple pie or something,
so
and then you can even taste it. Yeah, you can even taste, your granny's apple pie. I think we all love those kind of feelings.
Absolutely. Some of them are warm, some of them are not.
Some of them are not so warm, yeah. But maybe we can focus on just the warm one today. So.
And you talked about the brain going into decline as we get older as well. So that's why we push to develop new skills, to learn, to keep reading, to go through puzzles and various other things that we do in our older age in order to keep these brain synapses and keep these brain pathways strong, so that we can reduce the decline in our cognitive health.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's also your field, Terry, because all these biochemistry or biochemical or chemical processes that go into the body, you're also an expert yourself in this field, and it's very much connected to hypnotherapy and the neurolinguistic.
Absolutely, it's all connected with any psychology, any type of therapy, so that's really what I specialize in.
Yeah, so this is how we connect the two together. So whenever you eat, there are various chemicals and chemical processes that are going on within the body, and they are released, like chemicals released into the bloodstream, for example, insulin, that can travel to your hypothalamus and hippocampus, and they activate signal transduction pathways that boost synaptic activity and even memory. Or, for example, when we are hungry, there's a hormone called ghrelin that is released.
It's just grumble, our stomachs start to moan when we're hungry.
Yeah, that's ghrelin for you, but that also aids synaptic development and brain function. Or other hormones, like for example leptin. When leptin is released, that also activates brain and hypothalamic receptors that affect learning and memory.
And that's when we're full as well. We secrete the leptin to tell us that we
are full.
Don't eat anymore for now.
That we need to stop it sometimes.
Sometimes when we bypass that, when you get at home, when your parents say eat everything on your plate, even if you don't want it, what happens is that you keep doing that and it messes up the actual signals that you get from your leptin as well. So that's why in older age you can become obese, and that's part of the overweight problem. Not all of it obviously, but part of it.
Yeah, it is. I remember when I was a kid, we had that mentality as well. You had to eat everything on your plate because wasting food was not an option. So I have some bad memories of myself about certain foods that since then I just don't want to eat because of that. But I'm sure that happened to all of us. So that's important, listen to your body. It's very, very important. If you feel that you're full, it's sort of like mindful, like being mindful when you're eating, as opposed to watching a TV or playing a game or scrolling through your social media. When you're eating, you're supposed to focus on your eating, really. So that's very important to listen to our body, listen to the signals. If you're full, stop eating. If you're hungry, eat, don't ignore.
But also if you're hungry, make sure that it actually is hunger and not boredom. Drink a glass of water.
I was gonna say that, not only boredom, but sometimes we mistaken hunger for thirst. We are just thirsty, and then we need to hydrate our body. And then if you drink a glass of water or even 2 glasses of water, and then you feel that, okay, I'm actually not hungry anymore, that was just you being thirsty. So that's important to listen to these signals. Because all metabolic signals, or even exercise, when you exercise, they're all providing signals for our internal organs, even the liver, the skeletal muscle, to produce, for example, insulin-like growth factor 1, which stimulates the amygdala and hippocampus neurons, affecting learning and memory.
Yeah.
So is there any connection, I'm talking about these chemical processes, Terry, from digestion point of view. So how can we relate that to maybe changing some of our behaviors that would be like linked to hypnotherapy?
Well, if you're having clients who, during hypnotherapy, who have a bad relationship with food, then what we need to do is look at why they have a bad relationship with food, what happened in their past to give them that bad relationship. Maybe they've gone some trauma. Maybe they are have certain maybe they're bulimic or anorexic or something like that. So we need to go back and check and see where this occurred, the initial sensitizing event, if you like. Because whatever the client comes in with usually is not the initial sensitizing event, it's the secondary sensitizing event. And you usually have to go back and fix the first bit before you can fix the second. But also look at, we would do a lot of different, hypnotherapy sessions based around choices of food and based around, size of food portions and about, as you said, eating and taking notice of what you eat and eat slowly and maybe have smaller plate sizes and that'll fit in with the portion sizes and even sometimes having smaller utensils as well can help.
Yeah.
Smaller sized utensils.
Yeah, absolutely.
Can help as well. So we go through all of that different thing, but in future podcasts we'll talk about all of that type of all those stages and what we go through as hypnotherapists, NLP coaches and mentors as well.
Yes, absolutely. And then I would also like to talk about, meal plans that would support, the healthy brain function.
So as you as a fitness and nutritionist, then that would be your
absolutely
meal plans.
That's my passion. I really, really love doing it. And coming back to the portion size is so true. Once you prepare your meal plan based on your personal characteristics, what is it that you do on a daily basis, what you like, etc., etc. We will cover all these in future episodes. Sometimes you prepare your meal and then you think, is that it? It doesn't look much, on the big plate, but if you put it on a smaller plate and then if it's prepared in a proper way, including all your macronutrients, your protein, your fats, your carbs, then it could be a very, very well satiated meal.
We'll also be talking about the proportions of different and the traditional proportions and what the new research has led us to conclude about the portions that we have and the food groups that we concentrate on and how much of that we can eat and how much we shouldn't eat, really. We will have a lot of different various interesting topics that we'll delve into. This is more of an overview, and so we hope you'll like the content.
Yes, I think maybe before we sign off today, we could just mention a couple of foods that would be, very beneficial and impact, our well-being and emotional health. And like I mentioned at the beginning of the podcast, it's a diet that is rich in omega-3 fatty acids, like fatty fish, or like salmon, for example. It's fantastic because it supports brain cell function and nuts. Like if you go back to fatty fish or even seafood, it is recommended to consume, at least once per week. But if you think about our listeners who are either vegan or vegetarian or someone just, if you don't like seafood at all, then that would be very important to supplement. To take supplements that are rich in omega-3.
Although we're not medical professionals, so always check with your medical professional before doing any changes to your diet.
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely. You always have to consult with your dietitian or your doctor before changing any of your dietary plans or meals. So, but again, another thing that we, not just we, but it is recommended by dietitians is consuming nuts on a daily basis, because nuts are rich in, again, omega-3 fatty acids and also in antioxidants. So they're really aiding memory and cognitive function. And if you're thinking about fruits, what's your favorite fruit? Terry?
Favorite fruit? I tend to stay off a lot of fruits, but I tend to use the less sugary fruits, which would be more berries than that. So it would be like blackberries and
That would be actually
raspberries and things.
Raspberries and even blueberries, like one of the best options, you know, if you like fruits, because again they boost brain function. They have a lot of they contain flavonoids, and so they can protect against age-related cognitive decline. So those are the fruits that are also recommended to be consumed on a daily basis by dietitians.
So if you like the content, please subscribe, and if you like the video, put the thumbs up, and we'll see you next time.
See you next time. I'm so happy to be here, and also if you have any comments or anything that you like us to talk about or discuss, please put it in the comments below.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.